on one sheet to help us understand it. Ready to go to level to option 2?
Hand up for that.
Pardon me?
You got a hand up?
Yep, I do. But I'm going to actually go through the plan first and then pass it around, if that's okay, Matt.
That's all right.
On this one, I know I'm testing you.
You want us to focus on this? And
Yes, I'm going to ask you to go to the one that says double. It's a second sheet. It's an upper level floor plan, and I realize I'm testing you. I'm pushing you because this is not where you were. But what I've tried to do is try and show what some more gets, just to give you an understanding of it. As you come in, you're still coming in on the west side in the main entrance. One of the biggest things that happens here, circulation desk is in the same position. It's the same circulation desk, open plan layout. AV is up on that one side, west, north, and technology slides down. There's a couple of things that happen here. One of the restrooms goes away. There's now 2 restrooms. They're privacy restrooms. They're not male-female. They're privacy, and there's one on the upper level and one on the lower level. The elevator, which is a barrier-free conveyance, takes its place, and you can see that with that big X. And the other thing we did is we added a stair in this part at the south end to get to the lower level. Basically, this scheme divides the youth and the technology, which is technology for both, and the adults at the lower level. The rationale to put the youth and the technology up here, it's just a bigger staff interface, and so we've positioned it there. Basically, this whole area here is not just youth, it's really technology and AV. And we added 2 small, I call them study rooms. Different libraries call them, some of them call them program rooms, some of them call them tutor rooms. Basically, they're set up. The one that says study 1 is a 6x8. It works off of that mullion and just comes down to this point. It basically holds 2 people. Both of these are barrier-free accessible, and I think the door is going to have to swing out on number 2. Or the table slide over a little bit, but there's room to do it. And basically what they are tutoring, test taking, quiet study areas. What's happened in the library in its evolution from a book repository to a community center is we used to have, it used to just store books. Now as a community, and it was always quiet. Now, as a community center, it's quiet, it's louder. And now we're creating quiet spots for people to go to because the rest of the library is a little bit louder. And that's what those study rooms are, one of the things they're trying to do. On the other side, I've introduced a few, that's the youth side, the existing library. And I've changed words here, and I didn't mean to do this, where it says toddlers at the top, that's actually the kids number, and the youth is really where the juvenile is. That's really, and that whole area I'm calling youth rather than children. So really when you look at the numbers, kids and youth, you'll see that those numbers where they are. The fireplace is an area that's a flexible space. You can see some seating around it, some tables in the middle, and then a storytelling, reading, learning area off to the side that would be flexible. I've just shown some cushions for kids to sit and listen. That space would be a very flexible, small program area. If you look at this floor, you can see the kids and the youth numbers are on this floor, and there's a slight increase. And you can see that the audio and the visual are almost right on the numbers that we had in there. There's actually a little more room. I think I could have squished another wall shelf in there, but I opted not to do it. But it's at least hitting the target right here. If you were to take either of those stairs and go down to the lower level, if I could ask you to go to the back page, the last page, this would take you down to the lower level, and this is the adult collection. And if you would have taken the stairs, it's shown down at the west end of this part of the, I'm sorry, the south end of the part of this building, you'd go through the adult lounge, or if you took the elevator, you'd drop right off at a staff location. The magazines are right there, and the bulk of the adult collection is all in the lower level of the existing library. Mechanical room stays, and that collection is pretty well dispersed in that area. We've added two other areas in here. One of them, a multi-purpose room that's about 18, this room is 18 feet wide, 18 by 20, and it holds anywhere from, at a table it can hold up to from 16, and if you took the table apart and put it in a classroom setting, it would hold about 24, and if you put them in rows and had a speaker, you could get 30 people in there. And then next to it is a quiet workroom, again, with the noise, the din level in the library, this idea of having a quiet place to work. And we're showing that extra staff position as another, again, a very critical position of where to be. That existing stair that's right to the west, we left it on here. It really would be an alarmed exit only. It really doesn't get us, we don't need it with the other stairs because it goes directly to the outside, but it certainly could be alarmed. We did not take it out yet. And when you just go back and see under the adults, we're a little bit shy, we're 1,000 volumes shy there. Magazines were about 300 over, but as you can see, we're close. Overall, this plan is about 5% over the threshold current collection. It's not 20% or 40% over, but it's about 5% over. And I've used all the wall shelving that's in there. So we have a scheme that's a little bit over the current. We have one that's under, and I think a two-story scheme that has a working library in it. Now, hold on, I was going to pass this out. And this scheme, this cost is the same scheme we had before. Did you have a copy of it? I do. And it's the same one we had before. The only thing I did is, there's enough coming around. It's still $810,000 because it still has both levels. It has the elevator in it. This is the one we presented last time. There was a couple of typos, not number typos, but just lines A and B and stuff. And this one has just been updated, and I called it double level renovation option to tie with the drawings. We had single level renovation and double level, and this one is still $810,000. My goal tonight was to ask you to consider the idea of what an extra 200,000. I'm using 600,000 because that was the number that was used at the last meeting, I think. I'm not using my 457, but I'm using that $600,000 number and trying to get closer to getting the entire collection in the building. This number actually redoes both levels totally, and it just turns the whole building into a library right now, and the whole thing is drawn out based on barrier-free accessibility. I thank you for your patience to hear me out on this. I know that this has gone on for a long time, and I really...
Well, Mr. Shute,
yes.
I thank you for your patience
Oh, well...
and your heart.